Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's up, y'all?
It's Mel and Daniel
Hey, how
and Sir Grayson and Amara Rose.
you doing? In the flesh.
Come on here, in the flesh.
You
And so it is like almost 8 o'clock
know? Is that like?
on this here Friday, and we were like, let's get out the house because, of course, it is COVID-19 quarantine shutdown. And so we are always stuck in the house. So we was like, let's get out and take a drive. Then while we were driving, we was like, you know what? We were talking. I was like, let's make a video because we have not made a video for our channel. We have made a video for our social media.
Part of that is why is we are recently home church planners, pastors of our home church and ministry, and a vision to plant multiple home churches around our area and hopefully outside of our area. God has increased in numbers and also in spiritual growth in so many ways in this past 5 or 6 months. But I'm working full time outside of that, and she's taking care of the kids full time. And then we're also trying to, have different avenues where we can just reach people and kind of share with people what God is doing in our life. And one of these avenues is this new Instagram page along with the Facebook. But we really got no content, so why people would come look at our page when they ain't saying nothing?
Well, I don't know, because Instagram is growing, seem like daily, and we only got like a few posts up there, but
yeah, well, yeah, we got a few, but I think it's all family. Like, oh, ain't they? Let's say, huh?
Let me go support the cheering because they trying.
But with that said, one of the reasons why we're like, well, why don't we post about what we're talking about? This is a short thought, but one thing that me and my wife both have discussed and what we've learned from COVID-19 is, instead of trying to always build something, why not start living it? And meaning, as when you start a ministry, it's all about building it. It's all about getting it in order and structure. I know, right? See,
y'all only see one hand going up, but it's 2 hands going up to talk to y'all.
It's that Irish and Italian in me. I talk with my hands. But and so we're always trying to build things, and that's what we've been doing as well. And also trying to steward well what we've been building. And we get so focused on that, we lose sight of just living. Every day ministering not only to your inner circle but outside your inner circle, and living with and just living in your community and loving thy neighbor, loving God and loving thy neighbor. And that's the whole reason why we did this in the first place, because not only to reach out but also to build deep relationships inside your inner core, in your inner circle, but not to become so manufactured or so systematic. Systematic theology is a great thing, but when your whole Christianity or religion becomes systematic, you lose that heart and you lose that passion and that drive. And we were just talking about that. One thing about the COVID-19 for us is that we want to live it every day. We want to be passionate about people, passionate about the Word of God, passionate about ministry, and allow God to increase, make room and space for God to influence the hearts of men and women, and just to live that out every day. And I think that's what the gospel projects. It says, live it out every day and follow me, pick up your cross. And so we just had that thought, and we kind of want to share that with y'all and see and maybe ask y'all, what has COVID-19, inspired you? How's it inspired you? How's it changed you? And is God doing a transition in your life right now? Is He calling you to now live that word and to go out and live it and love thy neighbor, love thy God with all your heart and soul, and love thy neighbor, and to actually live it instead of always planning it to or always building it up, but instead actually going out there and living it. And that's one of the reasons why we did the video. Because my wife said, well, why don't we do a video and talk like we keep talking about planning on doing?
Because he was like, no, let's do like a video, like, because we got the ring light and everything at home.
We're
so
prepared,
like,
studied a little bit. We're talking about a subject, not just, off the riff, but I guess nobody gets exactly what we were just talking about. So we said, why not say what's up? What's happening? It's good. So that's really it, just to kind of, challenge you. What has God been put on your heart during this time?
And even if He hasn't, because I know it hasn't been like victory this entire time for me. I feel like, God is really changing my heart towards this whole situation and what's going on. Because for me, it becomes difficult because I like quality time. I like to spend time with people in person. Excuse me while I get Baby Shark back on. And so this requires a lot of like texting and phone calls and stuff I just do not do on the regular. So it makes me very uncomfortable, and I really am not staying as connected as I would like, as opposed to, you know, if things were like they were before. Okay, Gracie. Excuse me, y'all.
Baby shark.
Okay. So I was, my thought process was always like, I can't wait till this is over. I can't wait for this to be over. I can't wait to go back to normal. I can't wait for this to be over. And totally missing the blessing in it all, because despite the disparity and, you know, it's the tragedy, because it is tragic. People have lost their lives. People are dealing with the virus currently. People have lost their jobs. Countless things have happened. So I don't want to diminish that. But in the midst of that, as believers, we are called to count it all joy.
Yeah, amen.
When we face different trials. But in the moment, it can be so hard to refocus, recalibrate, to do that. For me, it is a discipline. I have to discipline my mind. I have to discipline my flesh to revert to the word in those times.
Yeah.
And that often doesn't happen in the moment. He's still working on me. But we get there. And so God has been convicting my heart and repositioning my heart to see, like, in this moment, I'm still good. As in, God is still good. And He is still God. My mama used to say, I'm so glad that God don't have, oh my God moments. Nothing takes Him by surprise. And so in the midst of chaos, I really feel like He is still calling us to a place of perfect peace. And to find the joy, find the goodness in this moment. Find Him in this moment.
There's purpose in everything.
In everything.
And not in some mystical idea that everything is for a reason. No, because some of us are just doing the wrong, and we end up finding wrong things, and that's not.
Are you in these hands?
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. So don't take that. You know, don't allow world theology to mix in with your Christian theology. But in Christ, there is always a purpose for whatever happens in your life, good or bad. And how we're supposed to take that and now transition into a place where it can be used by God for the greater good, for increasing, for enhancing His kingdom, and changing not only within you, but changing within you, so you can be a change within others and make a difference in other people's lives, be someone else's difference, you know. I'm about to preach, go off this road.
You better get happy. Come on.
But
I felt your help.
And so just that's what God's been doing to me, you know, for a long time. Ever since I came to the Lord, and I believe I was raised in the church, yes. My father was a pastor, you know, and I walked away for many years. But when I really gave my life to the Lord about 8 years ago in a Salvation Army Adult Rehabilitation Center, and when I gave His heart to the Lord, that's one thing I said, Lord, I would never walk away again, and I will serve You for the rest of my life. And throughout that, I've had different moments in my life where I felt like, I was serving because I was doing things for God, or I was very busy, but I was losing sight of what it's all about. Living. We're called to new life. We're called to live for Christ. We're not just called to build or systematically put things in place or be morally, you know, good people, even though that comes with it. But we're called to new life and to live. We're redeemed to live, to love thy neighbor, to love thy God. We've been enabled to do so through the Holy Spirit. And so now that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to live it. Every day I want to live it. When God says, go out and pray for that brother, go out and pursue that person, go out and love thy neighbor, love thy church, love thy congregation, whatever it is, I want to continue to do it. I don't want to put it off tomorrow. I don't want to put it off the next day. But I want to love my wife deeply. I want to love my children deeply. I want to minister and steward everything that God gives me. And that's kind of what something God has been doing on our heart over the last definitely probably 6-7 months, year, even that, but also right now in this moment as we start to build this ministry, let it not just be about building, but let it about living. So,
and a part of living is being who you say you are.
yeah.
To the point where you don't even have to say who you are because it will show. And so a part of that, I really feel like, let's just keep it real. With quarantine, you are up in each other's face more than you probably ever been in your whole relationship. Whether you've been together for a day or 50 years.
My wife be looking at me like, I didn't know you that ugly. Sorry, go ahead. My bad. My fault?
Don't be joking like that.
I know.
Anyway, being in close proximity, I don't care how much you love each other, it will put you to the test, okay? And so even for us, I thank God for in those moments, He has brought about just a breath of fresh air in our marriage, in our
Amen.
relationship, in our home, in our parenting, and that came about not always because it was the best of circumstance. It might have started out as like a quarrel, or like, man, why did you do that? But even in those times, like we were saying, allowing God to be God, and finding the goodness, even in those times, it's allowing God to be God, even in the hard times when you have to address issues. Maybe it's with maybe it's not just husbands and wives, but maybe it's a friend, maybe it's an enemy, maybe it's a mother, father, whoever it is. And so I thank God, because that's another thing that quarantine has done for us. It's caused us to get closer, address issues, and not just address them, but fix it. Yeah, but more Baby Shark.
Well, with that said, that's what we want to kind of leave this message. What has God done in your life through this experience, and what is He doing? Or maybe you're realizing that there's things that you haven't been doing, and maybe that you continue to put off even in this moment. And God's a God of now. God's a God of new. God's a God of transformation and repurpose, man. He wants to renew and redo everything in your life and in your heart and your mind as we grow in sanctification and holiness. So that's all we have to say. It's just, what is God doing? What is COVID-19? What does God use for a purpose in your life right now in this moment? And how are you now going to take that and run with it? How are you going to now live with it? So that's kind of what we wanted to share. That's about it. That's all I have.
That's about it. We done talked for 13 minutes.
Oh, was that long?
Yeah.
See, that's why I be running my mouth.
I know. Look, we both can chat it up.
I know.
Chatty cat.
Chatty cat.
Well, y'all, whether you are seeing this on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, I don't know, any of those platforms, head on over to the other platform. Rate, comment, subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah.
Follow us on...
Because we're going to finally live now and start making content.
Come on, we may
around.
just be in the car like this.
Yeah.
You may see us at home in the PJ.
Maybe it's a Bible study that I want to put together. I don't know. Maybe it could be many different things.
But we want y'all to follow us as we follow Christ. So yeah, go follow us on Instagram, Home with the Nolands, YouTube, at Home with the Nolands, Facebook. Don't come for me. Facebook is private. But yeah.
Well, not mine.
Yeah, you can go see Daniel. Daniel Nolan on Facebook.
Get my name to me. They already have a name.
Okay. Yeah. We love y'all.
All right. God bless.